I've convinced myself I was making the smart buy more times than I'll ever admit. Told myself, this one's different because the pedigree sounded right, or it was the new thing everyone raved about. For a minute, it always felt good, but I started noticing the doubt. Quiet at first. That grip never quite settled. Trigger felt off. I'd flinch or catch myself hesitating, blaming the day, blaming my hands, never blaming the pistol. Regret sneaks in slow. I kept carrying it, waiting for it to earn its keep. But the more I used it, the clearer it got. I'd bought the story, not the tool I actually needed. Some mistakes just burn your wallet. These, they can cost everything. I've carried the wrong pistol, trusted the wrong hype, and it's a gut punch you never forget. The wrong gun, wrong night, and you pay the highest price. Stick around, because what I'm showing next has burned me and more shooters than you'll ever hear admit it. Last October, right as the weather started turning, Bruce and I wandered into our local gun shop on a slow Saturday afternoon. Football game buzzing in the background. Neither of us planning to buy, just looking. But Bruce stopped cold at the Beretta 92X performance display, drawn in by that mirror finish and all that steel. I picked it up too, couldn't help it. It felt like holding a trophy, heavy, perfectly balanced, just begging you to believe you needed it. Bruce kept talking up the weight, going on about recoil control and how champions run these. Not a single match under his belt, but for a moment, both of us were hooked by the fantasy. That's the trap. People buy competition guns to feel like competitors, not because they actually shoot or live that way. He dropped the cash, big grin on his face. A week later, we took it to the range. Bruce started strong, but after a few mags, his wrist was aching. I gave it a run and knew right away, beautiful gun, but it's a tank. Not fun to shoot, not practical for carry, and honestly just too much for how we actually shoot. Now that Beretta's collecting dust in his safe, Bruce admits it. Bought for looks and flex, not for anything real. I almost fell for it too. It was late January, cold night, and I was slumped at my kitchen table, coffee going cold, when I called my cop buddy in Nevada. He was still in uniform, voice raw from a double shift. We didn't bother with small talk. Out of nowhere, he starts cussing about the Springfield XDM Elite. Not the gun itself, but that damn grip safety. He goes, "You'd be shocked how many shooters think it's a magic shield. But you get a death grip and a panic? That safety's gone." Hand shaking, adrenaline, and next thing you know, finger slips inside the guard, holster catches, and the so-called safety's not doing a thing. I've seen it at the range, seen it on patrol. Folks trust it, then get sloppy. I pushed him. "Did you ever feel safer with one?" He just laughed. "Hell no. That's when people get bold, not careful. Accidents happen right after they start trusting the feature, not themselves." I sat there staring at my mug, realizing how easy it is to let a feature talk you out of thinking. And trust me, the next pistol, that mistake gets even uglier when what you trust most turns against you. It was all last year. I was already sitting on a VP9, bought it for the same reason everyone does. The legend of the perfect grip, ergonomics king, all the forum noise. Then one afternoon, I spotted another VP9 in a pawn shop case. Logic said walk away, but my hands wouldn't listen. That old story about how a VP9 just melts into your grip. Maybe this one would be even better. I bought it, took both out to the range, same box of ammo, same old drills, lined them up, shot them back to back, looking for some magic edge. Here's the truth. Both felt fine. Smooth, sure, but nothing special after the first mag. The wow factor died quick. My groups weren't tighter, my draw wasn't faster. Nothing changed that mattered. Comfort is nice, but it's not the same as skill. The price, premium, and reputation didn't buy me a damn thing except a second VP9. Driving home, both pistols rattling on the seat, it hit me. Sometimes the only thing you prove is how easy it is to buy the myth. Twice. Comfort might sell the gun, but it never wins the fight. Friday night range trip. This time, I pushed until my buddy finally brought his CZ Shadow 2. That gun had built up a legend in our circle. When he set it down, the bench got quiet, everyone waiting for me to prove what the hype was about. First few shots, I tried to act cool, but the size threw me off. The reload was a mess. I bobbled the mag, fumbled the grip, nearly dropped the whole gun. The sound of it clattering on the bench had every eye locked on me. One of the guys, always quick with a dig, says, "So much for the champion's pistol, huh?" Laughter hit harder than any recoil. The next shooter in line didn't even want to try it, and the jokes kept coming. For weeks after, that night followed me everywhere. Group chat, game night, even at work. My phone buzzed with memes of safe queens and trophy guns. My own mess-up turned into the running gag. I thought chasing the legend would buy me respect, but the next gun on this list, let's just say the only thing worse than buying a myth is trusting the crowd when the stakes are even higher. Mornings used to be a mess. I was late, cussing at the clock, spilling coffee, phone buzzing nonstop. I'd grab the Glock 19 and shove it into my holster, running on autopilot, never really thinking about what I was doing. My hoodie's drawstring was hanging loose, and I missed it completely. As the gun went in, there was just enough resistance to freeze me cold. I've always loved how simple the Glock is. I convinced myself the reliability covered for everything. The easy routine, the confidence, the shortcut around caution. But that morning, one bad second nearly put a round through my leg. All it took was that drawstring and a lazy holster job. I stood there, pulse pounding, sweat running down my back. The gun didn't care. All the marketing, all the nothing can go wrong, none of it would have mattered if I'd pushed any harder. No excuses left. Not blaming the gun, not blaming the morning. Glock did its job. I'd used its reputation like a seatbelt. I never bothered to click. All that was left was a knot in my stomach and a story that never gets easier to admit. Every time my hand goes near that holster now, I still feel it. A few months back, our crew headed out to the public range for a long afternoon. One guy brought his brand new Walther PDP Pro SD, threaded barrel, optic, full tactical dress. The reason was simple. He wanted the look, the whole ready-for-anything vibe, but he never actually planned to run a suppressor or do anything more tactical than our usual range day. He laid the gun out across the bench, barrel glinting, and everyone started cracking jokes about action movies and Instagram reels. But it was the hardware that drew the real attention. The range safety officer clocked the setup right away, came over to ask about paperwork, and check every inch of that barrel. He hovered for minutes, lectured us about rules, and made sure everyone knew that accessories mean more scrutiny. The session never really recovered. My buddy packed up early, mumbling about just wanting a smooth shoot. No suppressor ever appeared, just a lot of baggage for a look he thought would make him stand out. Buying tactical gear for the image is easy. The baggage it drags in, most people never see it coming. If you think that was a hassle, the last pistol on this list is a whole other mess. Out in the Texas heat, I had the FN 509 tactical slung across my chest, like I'd earned it. Threaded barrel, optic, tan slide, the whole military image. I'd told myself it was about quality, reliability, performance. Truth was, I wanted to look like I knew what I was doing. I'd bought seriousness instead of building it. When I hit the berm, the illusion cracked. The recoil kicked high, sights dancing off target. Every follow-up felt like chasing a ghost. I tightened my grip, adjusted stance, told myself it was the wind, the sun, anything but me. But the gun wasn't wrong. I was pretending to be ready for a level of control I hadn't earned. People say this pistol's built for operators. Maybe that's the problem. It made me feel like one until it reminded me I wasn't. The kick didn't humble me. It exposed the costume I'd been wearing. I used to think owning what professionals carry made me part of their world. It didn't. It just showed me how far away I really was. And the next gun, the mistake wasn't confidence. It was mistaking status for safety. The Kimber Micro 9 had that perfect shine under store lights. Polished edges, clean lines, fit for a suit pocket or Sunday carry. I remember thinking, finally, something classy that still means business. I didn't buy it for endurance. I bought it because it looked like it already had its life together. First trip out, it felt smooth. Tight slide, crisp trigger. But after a few boxes, the cracks showed. The grip bit back, slide heated fast, and the sharp edges started leaving marks. A carry gun's supposed to disappear on you. This one kept reminding me it was there, like it didn't want to get dirty. By the time it started choking on cheap range ammo, the truth was clear. I'd picked it for looks, not fight. Back home, it still sat beautiful on the table. Flawless again, under lamplight. But the shine doesn't hide what I felt on the line. Every elegant curve hides fragility. The Micro 9 plays soldier in a tuxedo, and once the smoke clears, all that polish doesn't matter anymore. If you stuck with me through that list, you know this isn't just buyer's remorse, it's survival. I've chased the hype, chased reputation, tried to convince myself I'd picked right, and ended up staring at a gun that failed when it mattered, not just a wasted dollar. Sometimes it's your last line of defense, and it just isn't there for you. I've stood in front of my safe and realized I own mistakes. Maybe you have too, or maybe you're one close call away. Drop your story below, call me out, or confess your own. Every shooter has trusted the wrong pistol once. Trust is earned in the dark, not at the counter. Regret? You'll remember that a lot longer than the receipt. I'm Steve. Don't trust hype. Trust what's kept you alive, nothing else.